It's back. I finally get my car back. My BMW Z3 is finally able to be driven again. I got lots to talk about. Let's get started. So this is my 98 BMW Z3 in the Violet Rot, which is interesting that they call it violet red in Germany, but here in the States we put the primary color first. It's red violet, purple BMW, and it's dusty. This is the bugs and everything in the dust that we got it when we bought it, because as soon as we got it, of course it's a used car like any used car we've ever bought. It needs work done. Shocking. And Grimes was well willing to work on it. Tore into it, got everything on the top end done. It still needs some work on the bottom end done, but we thought, hey, it's going to take some more time because, as you noticed, it took a long time from when I did my first video to now, just because we can't work on it full time. We've got to keep working on customers' cars too. They do have demands, which I fully get. And so I'm on the bottom of the list. So we're going to do the bottom end undercarriage stuff after I've driven it a while and it's winter and it's not such an enjoyable car in the late fall winter time. So that's the plan. But the first thing I need to do is get it cleaned up. The interior needs some work. The back isinglass needs some work. The roundels we have taken off, and I've cleaned up some of them, but the one on this side still has the gunk and the goo and the nastiness, and so I need to get that off. Then I need to get it to the car wash, get all this off. I'm not going to get the convertible top wet, as little as possible. We also noticed that on the third brake light, it's kind of loose, and the passenger tail light, it also has maybe some water intrusion. So we're going to need to figure out what's going on there. So I'm not going to get I'm going to get it clean, but I'm not going to really get down and scrub. But it shouldn't need too much. There's not too many bug guts splattered back there. Up here, a few bits of carnage up here, so I need to get rid of that. So that's the plan. Next time you see this car, it's going to look beautiful, sparkling, clean. So magic of the internet. Isn't this so much nicer? She's gotten cleaned up really well, and as you notice, wardrobe changed because you know how it is. By the time you get done with everything, end of the day, it was too late to finish filming. And also, it was like 45 yesterday morning, and so I couldn't really start cleaning and washing because I wasn't going to go to a manual car wash when it's 40 degrees outside. I do have some limits. But let me show you some of the stuff I used to get this car looking this good. So this is most of the stuff that I was using to get the car looking good. Just went to a regular car wash, did the normal spray, get everything cleaned up, and get that looking good. And then went on a nice test drive for a couple of miles to air dry it as best as it would, because I'm like, I'm not going to dry it, the wind can blow it off. Then put some of this Meguiar's Quick Wax on it, got that, made it all nice and shiny. It had a lot of water, you know, residue still on it, some water bubbles, so got that off. Not from me doing it, from sitting outside and getting rained on and dried, so got that taken care of. And then put some clean the wheels, which is some Dawn soap and this fun scrubby brush. Then when that was done, put on some tire wet, and that makes them stay nice and they look much, much better. Even though we're going to replace them, they aren't going to stay on there forever. I still like them to look good. On the interior, on the isinglass, I used this. I ordered it off of the internet, said it was supposed to do a really good job of cleaning, and did both sides, inside and outside. And I took some video, and you can see here it is comparing the before and the after as it kind of goes across. It's still going to be hazy. I can't get in there and really scrub really hard on it because A, it's hard to reach. Trying to reach in and not push too hard, and especially since the passenger side right above the headrest has become unstitched, and I'm going to try and work on that. Now that I know the top works, we didn't want to take it down until after it got washed because, you know, if we couldn't put it back up, we're screwed in washing it. That would have been a pain. But now that I know, I am going to try and restitch that as well. But you can definitely see there's a bit of a difference, and in real life, you really can see the difference. A little dirty. Not too bad. These are the rags that I used to get that clean, so it wasn't too bad. The interior, other pieces and parts, I cleaned with just some regular Armor All, and everything was looking pretty good on the cleaning part until we got to the steering wheel. Ew. So I'm glad I cleaned the steering wheel, but then it just had enough time and damage that it just needed some help. And so I actually got a cover for that. But the one thing on the exterior is that the roundels were really scuffed up. This one is one of the better looking ones. Some of the others, and I've already got something else I'm doing with those, got some other plans I've got planned for them, but this one is one of the better looking ones. I've already got the others in place, and there we go. Before you put these on, you have to remove all the gunk that was left over when you peel these off. And so it was kind of a mess. You can see in the short video clip that you can see how it's all rough in there. But then you just kind of very carefully get that removed off. I borrowed from Daniel's son this kind of a rubber kind of a thing you put on your drill, and it kind of very slowly chips away at it. It doesn't hurt the paint, but it definitely gets off little blobs of glue and gunk. But this one is the one that goes on the front. So it doesn't actually have any adhesive on it, but this one is on the front. Let's go put it on. With this one didn't actually have to have anything glued coming off because it doesn't have glue here. It didn't have it on the original one either. And so all it had here was a whole bunch of just some water, just dirt and debris. I just cleaned that up really good, put some of that polish on it. But here we go. There we go. Looks better. Let's go look at the others. So as you can see, they look so much nicer. The rest of them, let's go check out the passenger side. There we go. Passenger side's looking good. Okay, this one is not stock, but I thought this was absolutely hilarious. I found these fun little stickers on Amazon, and I thought, if the Wizards family is going to have a BMW, we definitely need to make sure that it's got some, a little bit of character to it, and it could be a little devil. I don't know. I think it's funny. Tell me what you think in the comments. So, exterior looks really good from what I showed you, and I showed you what I did with all the products, but let's go hop into the inside. Let me show you how good it looks in there. It looked pretty good before, looks even better now. So first thing we see is that I do have a steering wheel cover on the steering wheel, and it is turned sideways because I was kind of turning when I pulled this around today, but there's that original roundel that was actually the only one that actually presented well when the car came in, and he still looks kind of nice, but now he actually looks like some of the worst ones in the car because the others are brand new. But just a simple wraparound on here. It's not that it's horrendous underneath, but it's definitely maybe a little bit better. We'll see if I like it. I don't know. But otherwise, just giving it a general cleaning is all it really needed. Just had a little bit of dust in places. I have tested the stereo there. It is an Alpine, and it does work. I have not put a CD in it, but I'm not much into CDs. If anything, I might try and get some sort of a Bluetooth adapter for it so I can just listen to music through my phone. But as we move down, the wood was in good shape to begin with. It does have just a bit of a shine, just kind of dull to it. And maybe you guys out there can give me some help on what I can use to brighten this up. I tried a couple of different things, but really nothing made it a big improvement. But everything looks nice. Gear shifter's in good shape. I cleaned these guys up. They were pretty dirty and cleaned out the best I could. Probably could use a little bit more vacuuming in there because this one's harder to do. But I did clean this one up, and I did buy a couple of coasters. They were pretty dirty in there. Got that coaster. These guys, both of these were pretty filled with dust and debris, and so they've got a little bit more in there just because things happen over time. They get a little bit of dust and debris, especially in a shop environment. The seats I did clean with a little bit of leather cleaner, nothing fancy. Has a nice pebble look to it, and this pebble gets carried onto the lower section and onto the door card as well. Originally would have had floor mounts that match that pebble look as well, but those are kind of unattainable at this point. But I did find these floor mats on Amazon that match perfectly to this car for the driver's side and the passenger side as well. One thing in the glove box, now that all those napkins were removed, is I did get just a real simple little thing to keep track of everything in. Just put the registration, insurance, and all that stuff in there, just so it doesn't go flying around in case you do open up to get a napkin. You don't need those flying out when you're going down the road if the top's down. So that helps anchor them into the glove box. So now that we've had a chance to look at everything kind of far away from the exterior, let's end up the video with getting some tight shots in on looking this thing over in all of its beauty. Okay. I hope you guys have really enjoyed watching my car come to life. It's gonna be a fun little Z3 to get zipping around town. Can't wait to get the chassis and suspension stuff worked out, but that'll be coming when it gets cold and I really won't be able to drive it too much. I don't want to drive this in bad weather. I've got it nice and clean. It's gonna stay that way. The Levante is the one we just, the family daily driver. That one, I run through the car wash all the time. I don't have to worry about it leaking on the passenger. So one of the few things other than the underneath to get worked on is the headliner. Get that top zipped up a little bit. I'm gonna see if I can stitch that myself. Otherwise, may have to look at buying a new top for it. But otherwise, I'm glad you were with me today. If you didn't hit that subscribe button, I'd love for you to do so. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Bye.